How have you been?
I'm fine, teacher, fine, very well.
Okay. How was your school, your day at school?
Normally, this week was a cultural week, and on Monday and tomorrow is only cultural, different events for the English Day, for different presentations and different topic, different areas. It's fun. This week is fun for folklore. The students have not take a books. It's only your presentations in different events and at school depend
And
of your characteristics must present it in the different areas. For example, in English is a English Day. In English Day, the different courses presented different high schools, music, or different theater, or different musical Disney.
okay,
Other is, for example, in Spanish. The students presented different labor literature and important events in the past. Economy, mathematics, physics, and chemistry. The students presenting different inventors, different mm, projects for their physical or inventors. And dance is different shows of music, different genres music, joropo, salsa, merengue, um, cumbia.
okay. And these cultural days are for all students, right?
Yes, perfect. All students to
Okay.
the kindergarten to 11th grade.
Okay. And according to your point of view, how is the level, the English level of the students in your school?
Uh, really, mm, the level in general is
Yes.
not good. It's not good. Unfortunately, is not good. For example, the students, the 11th grade and ninth grade uh, should be level B1, more or less. But the very students, only two or three students are B2, are B1. The other is A2, A1. Inclusive, there are students, your level in English is very, very bad. Is only A1 level or beginner. Unfortunately, there are students not recognize verb to be, different verbs or tense and present, to different the past and the future. The structuring grammar is bad or not recognized these times. And when your construction a sentence is they committed a lot of mistakes.
Okay. Uh, you said that there are a few students. When I say some, it's only a few students which have or who have a good English level, but they can speak English Or maybe they just understand reading, they know how to make some sentences, but or they can speak in English.
Yes, these three or two students have a good level. Uh, I can speak to them.
Okay.
In the conversation fluence, I and them understand the topic. It not value what is your grade. For example, what is the per student? No, the idea is to talk or speak and understand the conversation. In this case, with these three students, is great. It's amazing because the conversation's fluence. I understanding the area and the objective of the environment depend to the topic.
Okay, and you know why those three students have a good English level? You know why? They have studied or they have taken some other courses or they have had the opportunity to travel or I don't know why.
The majority, I had taken courses in English in the other institutes.
Okay.
Open English, Smart, and American School Way is
Uh,
more recognized.
so those students have that level, that good level because of their studies in other institutions. In some, they have taken some English courses in other institutions, and that's why they have a good English level. Okay.
Yes, all right.
Okay. Good evening, Carolina. How have you been today?
Good evening, teacher.
Okay. Carolina, in your school, it's bilingual. It's a bilingual school for your work.
Not yet, but the how do you say rector teacher?
You can say director.
Okay, director. He want the school bilingual.
Bilingual. Okay. Here I have to explain something. When I say director, you can remember that there are some words that you can pronounce in two ways, and both are correct because one, for instance, director, you can say director or you can say director. Both of them are correct because in British English you can say director and in American English you can say director. So no problem with that word. But for instance, when you're going to say bilingual, that's only one way to pronounce that word. So you have to say bilingual. Okay, Carolina, and children from primary, they study English. They usually take English classes.
Yes, they have 4 hours at a week.
4 hours a week. Okay.
Yes.
But I have a question for you. Does the English teacher or is the English teacher really an English teacher? She knows, she handles, she speaks English, or she has to teach English, but she is not totally prepared.
No, the teacher, she, I would say it, she study other material.
Or subject.
Oh, sí, other subject.
Sorry. Okay, that's one of the problems we have in our schools, in our high schools, in primary and secondary schools, because some English teachers are not really English teachers. No, they, for example, they teach Spanish or they teach, I don't know, geography, and they have to teach English, but they are not completely prepared to do that. And that's one of the problems we have right now in our college, in our institutions, educational institutions. And that's why the students don't have the foundations in order to be speakers or English speakers, no? That's one of the problems. But we are trying to do it in our schools, in our kindergartens, in our primary school. We're trying to do it, and that's the beginning. But we have to work a lot in order to improve our English level and in order to get our students to have a good speaking, a good writing, listening skill. Okay, good evening, Jorge. Jorge Andres, how have you
Good
been
evening, teacher, everybody. What's going?
Oh man, you are I was missing you because you hadn't been in some sessions. What's wrong with you? What happened to you?
Yes, teacher. Very, a lot of things. Maybe a lot of work. I don't know, a lot of things
A
in
lot
the
of
daily
things to do,
routine.
too much work. Okay, the
Yes,
picture,
work.
Jorge Andre, the picture that I can see now is your son, I suppose.
Yes, that's right.
How,
My,
what is his name?
his name is Jesus Adrian.
Jesus Adrian. Okay, he has the name of a Christian singer.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, how old is Jesus Adrian?
he has almost 11, now 10.
Okay, he's 10 and he is about to be 11. What grade is he?
What grade? In fifth,
Fifth grade. Okay, so
fifth
he is
grade.
in primary.
Yes,
Next year he's going to start secondary.
yes.
Okay. And does he study English at the school?
Yes, very basic, but he studied well.
Okay, he's studying, but the basics English. Okay, good. Jimmy, you have two boys, right?
Yes.
Are they studying English at the school?
Yes, teacher, yes. The English is a elementary subject in the education academic at school.
Yes. Okay. So we have to study English, or our children have to study English since the first grades, no? Even in kindergarten, they have to start studying and they have to, and children learn easily, no? For instance, they say, they don't say professor, they say teacher, no? They all the time they say the teacher. La teacher me dijo esto, la teacher me dijo lo otro, no? They start learning some vocabulary, and that's quite important. And do you teach, Jimmy? Do you teach to your children? Do you teach English to your children?
Yes. In my free time, I tried to study and learn English with my sons.
Ah,
Some, yes,
yes.
sometimes. my children have homework in English, they said me, Dad, please, you can help me with the homework. Okay, yes, all right. Let's do. It's a form to practice and to learn and improve their level.
Yeah. It's quite important for them to listen to English, not to listen to English, because that's the best way in order to learn English. So if they can, I don't know, watch a movie, or they can watch YouTube, but in English, that would be great, because they learn a lot. They learn a lot listening to English. Okay, so I don't know, but everybody knows it's quite important. It's very important, English, but here in Colombia, we have to work too much on that topic, because we know, we are aware of the importance of English, but we don't take too much time in order to study, no? Study the English, to practice the English, and that's very important. Okay, so guys, after this briefly speech, we are going to start seeing some exercises. Last session, last Tuesday, we start, I don't know, maybe Carolina was there, but Jimmy and Jorge weren't there. But we are going to do some exercises with past perfect. That's a topic related to grammar, past perfect tense, past perfect tense. And before or previous, I'm going to remember something here with you, because you weren't there. Remember that in English, we have regular and irregular verbs, guys. The regular verbs are the easiest one, no? Because in order to change from present to past, you only have to add ed, no? In English, the regular verbs, remember, the regular verbs, when you are going to change from present, for instance, close, to past, you only have to add ed, no? Ed. In this case, the verb finishes with e, so you only have to add d. But for instance, when we say collect, we are going to change this verb into past, we have to add ed, no? Collect it, okay? And that's the rule for the regular verbs. But we have another verbs, which are the irregular. And these are some of the irregular verbs. And remember, the irregular verbs are one in present, one in past, and one in participle, no? They change, or they can't change, no? Maybe here, in present, the verb to be is am, is, are. In past, was, were. And in past participle is been. So it's completely different, present, past, and participle. Sometimes, or some verbs, are quite similar in three tenses, in these three tenses. In present, begin, in past, began, and in past participle, become. Some of them, let me see, now here, there is not any one of these. Some of them are the same in present, past, and participle. Here we don't have, or we can find these examples. And remember that in this tense, we are going to use these verbs, the third column of the list. And to have a clear idea about that, present, begin, for instance, I begin, yo empiezo. I began, yo empecé, tiempo pasado. Y acá, here, we are going to use begun. Ese begun es la terminación ado, ido del español, ¿no? Esa acá es empezado, ¿no? Empezado. Con algunas excepciones, ¿no? Por ejemplo, acá break, broke, broken. No podemos decir rompido, sino roto, ¿no? Pero el resto todas son con la terminación ado, ido del español. Por ejemplo, acá estado, traído, construido, comprado, ¿no? Ese es el que vamos a utilizar para este tiempo. Now, in order to do the exercises, we need to use those verbs and we need to use the past of have. I'm going to share with you this presentation. No, this one, no, this is the previous one. Oh gosh, yeah. This one. Sorry. Oh my gosh, what happened here? I'm choosing the incorrect. This is the correct one. This one. Past perfect tense. And here we have to use the past of the verb have, this one, had, and the past participle of the verb. So we're going to say, for instance, she had finished the test. In this case, when we find had and a past participle, the meaning in Spanish, ella había finalizado. Okay? Ella había finalizado. So, remember, have, tener, haber. And we have to differentiate. And had is the past, no? Had is the past of have. And we have to take into account that if I say, I had a car, I had an expensive car. Or I had traveled to France. Look at the difference. When I say I had, I am using the verb have in past and no more. But here I'm using the verb had in past and another verb. And this other verb is in past participle. So here is simple past. Yo tuve o yo tenía. I had an expensive car. And here, when we have another verb, yo había. Entonces, ahí están los dos significados, tener o haber, en pasado. Yo tuve, yo tenía, y acá, yo había. And what had you done? ¿Qué había hecho? Yo había viajado. I had traveled to France. Okay, I had traveled to France. So, that's the example of the sentences we are going to make with this tense, past perfect tense. Another example, you had, live is the verb. And we have to change into past participle. This is a regular verb, so only we have to add D. You had lived in Bogota 3 years. 3 years. This is an example. You had lived in Bogota 3 years. What does it mean? Usted había vivido en Bogotá 3 años. So, another one, the students had developed the exercises. The students had developed the exercises. So, had and a verb in past participle. The students had developed, los estudiantes habían desarrollado. And remember, when we are going to change into negative form this sentence, it's very easy. Very easy. I only have to add, I had not, or I hadn't. No, that's the same. I had not, and the verb in past participle. For instance, I hadn't studied for the exam. And that's all. Or I hadn't checked my email. Okay. I had not studied for the exam. Yo no había estudiado para el examen. I hadn't checked my mail. Yo no había revisado mi correo. Okay. Is it clear? Did you understand, guys? ¿Está claro entonces cómo utilizamos este tiempo? Presente perfecto, cómo armamos las oraciones. In affirmative and in negative. Yes? Is it clear,
Yes,
guys?
teacher.
Teacher.
Okay, good. This tense is very used in English. I know that sometimes we don't have to translate from English into Spanish, but it's necessary to understand the meaning of the kind of the sentence we can make with this tense, ¿no? No es, o sea, no es lo usual que estemos tratando de traducir, ¿cierto? Las oraciones como tal, pero sí es bueno que sepamos entonces cómo se dice eso en español, ¿no? Nosotros entonces sabemos que ese tipo de oraciones las utilizaba mucho. Yo había estado, él había comido, ella había tomado, yo no había hecho, ¿sí? ¿Por qué? Porque es que muchas veces nosotros vamos a traducir, tenemos la tendencia de decimos yo había, entonces ¿qué hacemos? Vamos a buscar había. Y había, pues no lo vamos a encontrar, encontramos el verbo haber. Y haber, haber nos dice que have, pero que tenemos que pasarlo pasado, had, ¿sí? Entonces el proceso se hace más largo, entonces es bueno que aprendamos. Ese had puede significar, si está solito, tener o haber en pasado, yo tenía, yo tuve, o si está acompañado de otro verbo en participio pasado, entonces yo había jugado, había corrido, había saltado. Okay, so let's do an exercise with this tense. Let's see if it's clear for you in order to make some sentences, some exercises. And here we have one of them. You are going to complete this one. Past perfect, positive or negative, make the positive or negative past perfect simple. Past perfect. No? Remember that in English, we have different past. Past simple, past progressive, past perfect simple. Okay? Tenemos tres tiempos de pasado en inglés. Past simple, el pasado simple. Past progressive y el past perfect simple. This one is the past perfect simple, and we have to use had. So, Jimmy, let's complete this sentence. When I arrive at the cinema, the film, what?
Okay, teacher. When arrived at the cinema, the film had started. Had
Start. Had, okay, had.
started.
This is a regular verb, so we have to add ed. No more. Okay, when I arrived at the cinema, the film had started. Okay. This is a common sentence, a common example, and you can see that we use that tense, ¿no? Y podemos ver cómo usamos este tiempo de una manera simple. Cuando yo llegué al cine, en la película había empezado, ¿sí? Había empezado. When I arrived at the cinema, the film has started. Okay, Jorge Andres, next, number 2. She, the verb is lived, and the rest of the sentence in China.
She had lived in China before she went to Thailand.
Okay, she had lived in China before she went to Thailand, ¿no? Ella había vivido, ¿no? Where? In China. Okay, she had lived in China. Carolina, this one, number 3, after they, the shellfish, they began to feel sick.
They had
Okay, after they had.
ate.
Okay, here, this verb is an irregular verb. And the list of irregular verbs say that it is present, ate is past, and eaten, like this, is past participle. So we have to use this one, eaten. After they had eaten the shellfish, they began to feel sick, ¿no? Después de que ellos habían comido, ¿cierto? Después de que ellos habían comido. Okay, so that's shellfish. Anyone know what is shellfish? What kind of food is that? Shellfish?
It's a seafood.
Okay, yes, that's seafood. And it's in Spanish, how can we translate into Spanish? You know?
I don't sure. It's a langosta.
No, no. That's not. When we are going to say langosta, it's a lobster. Lobster. That's langosta is lobster. but
Marisco.
okay, maybe marisco, yes. That's a good, that's the general word in order to say seafood, mariscos, no? Mariscos. After they had eaten shellfish, they began to feel sick. Jorge Andres, do you like seafood?
So much.
So much, yes? Do you like
Of
shellfish?
course. Very, very much.
Very much. Okay, good. Do you prefer seafood than fish from the river?
Yes, I prefer. I prefer the seafood.
Okay, what about you, Jimmy? Do you prefer seafood or do you like to eat fish from the river?
I love it. The seafood. It's delicious.
Yes, I like it a lot, the seafood. And I prefer the seafood than to eat fish from the river. What about you, Carolina? Do you like seafood?
I don't like.
You don't like? Okay. And okay, of course, there are too many people who don't like seafood, and there are too many people who are allergic to seafood, no? To seafood. It's a little dangerous when people are allergic to seafood to eat that kind of food because we have had some cases when people are have to go to the hospital because they are very sick because of that allergy. Okay, number 4. Jimmy.
Okay, teacher. If you had listened to me, you would have got the job. The job.
Okay, this is a regular verb, so we only have to use ed, and that's all. If you had listened to me, you would have got the job. Okay? If you had listened to me, you would have got the job. This type of sentences are a little complicated. A little complicated in order to understand the meaning and in order to try to translate them, no? And sometimes we have the idea in Spanish, but we don't know how to translate into English. For instance, if you had listened to me, you would have got the job. Si usted me hubiera escuchado, okay? This one, if you had listened to me until here, si usted me hubiera escuchado. Sometimes when we have the idea in Spanish and we want to translate it to English, we can't find the words or the order, ¿no? Que el orden es diferente, ¿no? En español tenemos, si usted me hubiera escuchado. Ese me nosotros lo ponemos allá, but in English, no. In English, if you had listened to me, yeah, the order is different. That's why we don't have to try to think in Spanish. We have to try to think in English. You would have got the job. Usted tendría, ¿cierto? El empleo. Would have got the job. ¿sí? Entonces acá vemos como Muchas veces nosotros utilizamos el presente, el pasado, el futuro simple, ¿sí? Pero cuando utilizamos estos tiempos, past perfect simple, present perfect, past perfect progressive, ya son tiempos un poco más complejos, ¿cierto? Ese tipo de oraciones, cuando nosotros hacemos en español y las queremos pasar al inglés, es difícil. It's a little difficult to do it. Number 5, Jorge, Julie. What happened with Julie?
Julie didn't arrive until after I had left.
Okay, the past participle or of live, of the verb live, is left.
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 This one. This one is the same of right, left, no? Right, left, right, left. It's the same word, but here, this left is the past of live, no? I was explaining a little about this word last session, because when I say leave, es dejar, partir, salir de algún lugar, no? So, Julie didn't arrive until after I had left. Julie no llegó hasta después de que yo había partido, de que yo había salido. ¿Sí? Okay, number 6, Carolina. When we
finish,
Ah,
when we had finished,
when we had finished dinner, we went out, ¿no? When we had finished dinner, cuando nosotros habíamos terminado la comida, la cena, we went out, salimos. Okay, and look at this. For instance, we have to, in English, we always have to say the person, the personal pronoun or the person, the noun, the subject. La persona que realiza la acción, nosotros tenemos que decirla. In Spanish, maybe we say salimos. Nosotros no decimos nosotros salimos, ¿sí? En español podemos decirlo así, pero en inglés siempre tenemos que decir de quién estamos hablando, ¿no? In this case, we. When we had finished, we went out. Look at this. It's the same sentence. It's only one sentence. And here we say 2 times, twice, we. In Spanish, we don't say that. We say, no, cuando nosotros habíamos llegado, cuando nosotros habíamos finalizado, terminado la comida, salimos. Okay? In English, no. In English, it's not. In English, we have to use the personal pronoun, or we have to say the person who is doing the action. Okay? Number 7, Jimmy.
Okay, teacher. The garden was dead because it had been dry all summer.
Okay. Here, the verb to be in past participle is been. No? The garden was dead, no? Because it had been dry all summer. And here, I take advantage of this sentence in order to explain something. In English, there are 2 words which are similar, no? Death and dead. And maybe we can add another one, die, no? So we have here death. When we say death, the death, for instance, the death, la muerte, no? Is one, the death. Here, death is an adjective. We say, he was dead. He was dead. Él estaba muerto. And we have another one, die, in past, died. He died. Él murió, ¿no? So we have here a verb, verbo morir, death, el sustantivo, muerte, and here the adjective, muerto, ¿no? The death, la muerte, he was dead, él estaba muerto, he died, él murió, ¿no? These 3 words belong to the same family, they are very related to each other, but we have to understand how to use each one of them. Tenemos que aprender cuándo utilizar cada una de esas. Porque en determinado momento pueden parecerse, ¿cierto? En su significado y en su uso, pero son totalmente diferentes. Okay, next. Jorge. Number 8. He
had met.
Okay.
Met. Or
met.
what is the
Yes.
pronunciation?
Met. Yes. This
Met
one is
her
meet.
somewhere before.
Yes, this one is meet in present, but in past, met. Okay. He had met her somewhere before, ¿no? Él había o él la había conocido a quién? A ella, ¿no? He had met her somewhere before, ¿no? Met. And this meet in English is when you are together with someone else, no? For instance, the family was together. The family had a meeting. That's why in Google we find meeting, ¿no? O meet, reunirse, reunión, encontrarse, ¿no? That's a very common verb. Number 9, Carolina. We were late.
We had forgotten.
Okay, this one, forget. This is an irregular verb. In past, forgot. Oh my gosh, forgot.
Forgotten.
Past participle, forgotten. That's what we use. That's the one we use here, forgotten. We were late for the plane because we forgotten our passports. ¿No? Remember that in English, when we say, vamos a decir que llegamos tarde, ¿cierto? O yo llego tarde, o yo llegué tarde, we don't use the verb arrive, no? Maybe we can think that I'm going to say, yo llegué tarde, we are going to say, I arrived late. Yo llegué tarde, no? You can say that, and people are going to understand it, but the correct one is to use the verb to be. I was late. Llegar tarde, utilizamos con el verbo to be, no con el verbo llegar. Okay? So, I was late, yo llegué tarde. Okay? Los estudiantes llegaron tarde. The students, vamos a hacerlo en presente. The students are late. Los estudiantes llegan tarde. The students are late. Okay? So, remember, when we're going to say llegar temprano, tarde o llegar a algún lugar, utilizamos especialmente o se utiliza con más frecuencia el verbo are, like this one. No? We were late. Nosotros llegamos tarde. Where? To the airport, no? Because we were going to take a plane because we forgotten our passports. Number 10, Jimmy.
Okay, she told me she had studied a little before the exam.
Okay, keep it. This one, studied like this, no? She told me she had studied a lot before the exam. Before the exam. Remember that here, if we have a verb like study, before the Y, there is a consonant, so we have to change the Y for I. We say study. But if we have a verb like this one, play, before the Y, there is a vowel, so we don't change. We only add ed. No? Okay. And this one, studied. And here we find this expression a lot. This is very common to listen to this expression in English. When we say a lot, it means much, too much, no? A lot. She told me she had studied a lot. Ella me dijo, o ella me contó, que ella había estudiado mucho, ¿no? A lot, mucho. And we say, for instance, a lot of books. And this is this is very common in English. A lot of. and we add something here. And the pronunciation, you can pronounce a lot of or a lot of. This one, todo esto pronuncia como una sola, ¿no? You are not going to pronounce a lot of. You say a lot of, or you can say a lot of. This T is like an R, no? Especially in America, in the United States, this T is like an R, a lot of, a lot of. A lot of books, muchos, una gran cantidad de libros. A lot of dictionaries, una gran cantidad, muchos diccionarios. Or you can use only a lot, like this one, study a lot, estudiar mucho. Maybe you don't listen to the word study much. It's not so common. You maybe are going to listen study a lot, no? Work a lot, trabajar mucho, work a lot. Okay, let's continue. She had studied. Carolina, this one. Number 11.
Hadn't rained,
Okay.
had not rained.
Okay, that's in negative form, so we have to add the negative.
Yes.
Not. Hadn't rained, no? This is a regular verb, so we have to add ed. The grass was yellow because it hadn't rained all summer. No había llovido. Mire, look at this. No había llovido. It hadn't rained. No había llovido todo el verano. Okay, and number 12. Jorge.
The lights went off because we hadn't paid the electricity bill.
Okay, this one, this pay, no? It's an irregular verb, and the past of pay is paid with a D, no? Paid. So the lights went off because we hadn't paid the electricity bill, okay? So when we say the lights went off, it means that we don't have any light at home, ¿no? Ahí es como no lo estamos diciendo que las apagaron, como decir switch off o turn off. Es lo común de decir en inglés cuando apagamos algo, ¿no? Something electrical. We turn off the computer, we switch off the computer, we turn off the TV, but here we are saying the lights went off, las cortaron, ¿no? Cuando cortaron algo, cuando cortan algo, we use this went off. Now, number 13. Jimmy.
Okay, teacher. Their children had not done their homework, so they were in trouble.
Had not done their homework, so they were in trouble. Remember that when we say in trouble, it means that we are in problems, no? They were in trouble, it means they were in problem. That's why we ask the question, what's the trouble, no? We can ask the question, what's the trouble? In English, we can ask, what's the trouble? What's the trouble? When we say what's the trouble, it's what's the problem, no? That's another way to say what's the problem? What's the trouble, no? So when we say they were in trouble, they were in problems. And remember, in English, there are some nouns which are very, very uncommon to make the plural, no? For instance, children. Children is not a regular plural, no? Because in English, when we are going to say singular is child, only one, child. And plural, children, no? Children. Child, children, look at this. child, the pronunciation is different, the word is different, this is singular, this is plural. No? Don't forget that not all the words in English, in order to change from singular to plural, we have to add s. No, it doesn't happen all the time. For instance, cars, yes. Houses, yes. But there are some which are very different. There is another one, for instance, which is very weird. You know what is the plural of oaks? Anyone knows? Oaks is an animal, no? And anyone knows what is the plural of oaks?
Oxes?
Like this, oxes?
Yes.
No, that's not correct. In this case, look at this word. The plural is oxen. It's a weird, it's a very strange plural, no? Oxen. But there are too many like this. For instance, we say mouse, and we are not going to say mouses. No. What is the plural of mouse? You know? Mouse is only one, and the plural, when we talk about 2, 3, 4, what is the plural of mouse? Anyone knows?
I don't remember.
Mice. It's mice. Okay. Mouse is singular, mice is plural. No? When we talk about 2 or 3 or 4, we have to say mice. So these are some irregular plurals in English. Okay, let's continue. We're going to finish. We are almost about to finish. Carolina, number 14. It's your turn.
They had eaten.
It's negative, so we have to add.
They hadn't eaten.
Okay, they hadn't eaten. So we went to a restaurant, no? So we went to a restaurant. Remember that in English, when we are going to say we went to a restaurant, we can say another expression, which is very common. We went out, okay? We can say we went to a restaurant, or we can say we went out. That's the same, no? When we say we went out, it means that we are not going to eat at home. We are going to eat in a restaurant outside, okay? And the last one, number 15, Jorge, we couldn't go into the concert.
We couldn't go into the concert because we hadn't brought our tickets.
We hadn't brought, no? Bring is present, and the past of this bring is brought, no? We couldn't go into the concert because we hadn't brought our tickets. And here, let's look at this go into, no? Maybe you can say we couldn't go to the concert, no? Go to the concert. But when we say go into the concert, it's different. What is the difference between go to and go into, guys? Go to and go into. What is the difference? When we say go to, is just attend, ir a, no? Ir a. And here, go into, what does it mean?
Entrar.
Entrar, yes, that's right. That's the difference. Entrar, no? Go to, ir al concierto. Go to the concert. Go to the stadium, okay? But when we say specifically go into, it means entrar, no? Entrar en algo, a un lugar, no? In this case, go into the concert. And we couldn't go into the concert because we hadn't brought our tickets, no? Nosotros no pudimos entrar al concierto porque no trajimos o no habíamos traído nuestros tiquetes, ¿no? Nuestros tiquetes. It's very common to use this past perfect tense with other sentence in past, ¿no? Como se dan cuenta, es muy utilizado este tiempo con un complemento o con otra oración que esté en pasado, ¿no? Mire, por ejemplo, acá tenemos pasado participio, past perfect, y acá tenemos pasado simple. Pasado y pasado perfecto. ¿Sí? It's very common. Here, past perfect tense. Here, past simple. ¿Sí? Generalmente se mezclan los dos tiempos, pasado simple y el pasado perfecto. Went off is past, simple past, and hadn't paid, past participle or past perfect tense. Okay. Okay, guys, so that's all for today. Let me stop sharing my screen. This was a very specific explanation about the grammar topic, which is the past perfect tense. And sometimes we have to study these tenses because we don't find the correct words or the correct structure in order to translate some sentence from Spanish into English. And that's why we can do it, ¿no? Algunas veces no tenemos o no encontramos esas estructuras para traducir del español al inglés, ¿cierto? Entonces muchas veces nos decimos se había, ¿cómo se dirá? Se había, o yo había hecho, yo había, ¿sí? Entonces para eso estudiamos ese tipo de estructuras. Pero lo importante acá es que además de que las estudiemos, que las pongamos en práctica, ¿no? Utilicemos, hagamos ejercicios para que esto se vaya haciendo como más mecánico el utilizar este tipo de estructuras. Okay, guys, so that's all for tonight. See you next Tuesday, or maybe if you can, next Thursdays. Have a good night. See you. God bless you.
See you, teacher.
Bye,
Good evening.
teacher, thank you.
Okay, see you.